Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Show Prep is Broken. Today's webinar is designed to be about 30 or 40 minutes. And Andrew and I will be on to walk you through some of the reasons why Show Prep is not doing what it should for you and some solutions that you can have. And then we're going to build some content together. So stand by. And we will get to everything here in just a second. I see in the chat that some of you are having trouble joining. Refresh your screen. Sometimes if you log out and then log back in, you will get in just fine. John says to hit F5, and that worked for him. Some of the rest of you, are you seeing the Show Prep is Broken slide and our cameras? Just let us know that you're able to see everything okay and that you're able to hear us. So let us know if you're hearing this and that you're getting a good signal. Okay, so those of you who are not seeing it, it's probably something on your local machine. Again, log out, log back in. It might be something with your individual computer settings or a firewall, or if you're on a VPN, those things can all kind of work together a little bit differently, but just try refreshing things and getting back in. If all fails, turn it off and turn it back on. That corrects a lot of problems too. So Show Prep is broken. Today's talent doesn't have time for yesterday's processes. And I think all of you know about that. Radio stations today and personalities today are asked to do more than they've ever done before, and you're stressed. And at the same time that you're asked to do more than you've ever done before, the bar is higher for creating original content that actually resonates. I'm Tracy Johnson. Today, we're going to show you all the reasons why you're struggling with show prep, some of the things that are outdated that you might be doing. And then Andrew's going to take us through a demo of some solutions and show you how you can personalize your content and really make it resonate. Andrew is the CEO of Radio Content Pro, and he'll tell us a little bit about his company.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Like Tracy mentioned, I'm Andrew, and I built Radio Content Pro with Tracy's guidance and input. We, over the last few months, have rolled out a few new features that really changed the platform, and I think are really going to change the way you think about and approach prepping content for your show. I'm excited to show them to you.
So we'll show that. And first, we're going to talk about the show prep process and some things that might help you. You can ask questions. You can type it in the chat box, which a lot of you are all typing in chat right now. That's great. Keep it up. You can ask questions. You can make comments. You can ask us to go deeper. I'll come back to all the questions at the end of the session today. And there's also a Q&A only tab. If you want to be anonymous, use that. It'll come just directly to Andrew and me, so we'll be able to read it. We'll keep you anonymous when we talk about your question or talk about your comment. The other thing is, as we go through the second part of the presentation, we're going to be building some content in real time, and we want you to help with that. So if you've got some personal stories that you're thinking about putting on the air, or something that you did on the air this morning, or a story that's happening in the news today, you're thinking, man, how can I get this on the air tomorrow? Be prepared with that, because we're going to ask you to give us that information, and we'll put it through the personalization process that we're about to show you in Show Prep is Broken. So how much time do you have to prep your show? There used to be a formula in radio where I was coaching my personalities, and the guideline was that for every hour on the air, you should be spending at least 30 minutes in preparation. So if you're on 4 hours a day, you should be spending at least 2 hours to prep. Try telling anybody who's working at any radio station anywhere that that's the kind of dedication and commitment you need to show prep today, and they'll roll their eyes and laugh you out of the room. It just doesn't work in today's environment. Today's personalities and programmers are asked to do more than they've ever done before. You're performing on the air. You're on for your live show every morning, every afternoon, whenever you're on, 3 or 4 hours of creating new content. If you're on for 4 hours a day and you're doing 4 segments a day, an hour, you're creating 16 original pieces of content every day. That's more than anybody doing a late night talk show does, and they have a whole staff of writers. You're also voice tracking. A lot of you are voice tracking for 2 or 3 other radio stations, either in your cluster or in your company, or you're doing a side hustle to make some money to make ends meet because radio budgets aren't what they used to be. You're asked to create audio on demand. You're taking your content that you do on the air and you're repurposing it to put it online and on social media to try and drive that digital engagement and that digital revenue, right? Then you're asked to publish on every channel, digital content, original, fresh digital content. A lot of you are asked to write blogs every day. Some of you are asked to write several blog articles per day. And it can't be necessarily on the things that you're doing on the air. It can be some things that are happening off the air. You're asked to update social media because who has a social media director anymore? And you're asked to create videos. Videos get engagement on social media and online, but that's an entirely different skill set. It's an entirely different process. It's entirely different production. So you're swamped. Then you're asked to promote off the air, going to appearances and remotes, and you've got sales obligations, and you're doing endorsements, and you're going on sales calls. And then here comes a talent coach telling you that you need to spend a half hour for every in prep for every hour that you're on the air. When are you going to do that? But the problem is the bar for having quality content that resonates with the audience is higher than it's ever been before because the competition for attention is greater than it's ever been. The good news is there's no content shortage. There's a ton of content that's out there. It surrounds you. You're immersed in it. In fact, that's one of the problems because there's so much to sort through, so much crap to sort through to get to the good stuff that a lot of times you're overwhelmed. And another problem is that you end up with show prep services that will help you reduce the amount of time that it takes. They can put it all on one sheet. It's a nice one sheet that gets emailed to you every afternoon or evening, and it puts it all in one place. You go, wow, phew, there's my topics. Got a bunch of things I can talk about now. But that's not really entertainment, is it? That's just a list of things to talk about. What you need is structure. You don't need generic one-size-fits-all prep that goes out to every format for every target audience and expecting you to take the time to customize that, to curate that, and to put it in a form where your personality can emerge from it. So what you need is ideas that turn topics into entertainment. And a lot of you have been on my show prep webinars before where we've talked about how the key to success for radio shows isn't picking the right content. You can talk about anything on the air. The key to success on the radio is how you talk about that and how you resonate with it and how it calls attention back to your personality and your character. So you become famous for it. It's turning ideas or turning topics into ideas and ideas into entertainment. And to do that in today's radio world, you need a system, you need a structure, and you need to make it easy. And it can't take 2 hours a day in prep for a 4-hour radio show. So what we're going to show you today isn't just prep. This is a workflow engine. What you're getting right now, if you subscribe to other show prep services, is the same stories. A lot of times they're going out to 3 or 4 or 5. And I know one market, a major market, the same service was going out to 6 different radio stations in their market. And a PD told me once, I punched around this morning on the way in and I heard the exact same story, in some cases with the same punchlines, on 3 different radio stations this morning. You don't need that. You don't want that. You can't succeed with that. The same stories going out to the same places. You need different treatment on all of those things. Generic one-size-fits-all content is not for you. We don't need unique personalities to deliver generic one-size-fits-all content. You also don't need a topic dump. You can find topic dumps on your social media feed or on a curated Google search. You don't need a service that gives you a survey or a list and you read the list back on the air and hope that it fits. You need something that's specifically targeted for what you do every day. And get this, it blows me away that in 2026, show prep services are coming out, and they are delivered to the users every afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock, sometimes later at night, or the next morning right before you go on the air. If you get it right before you go on the air, there's no time to really curate it and think about it and plan and craft it to your personality. If it comes out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you've been gone for 5 hours if you're on the morning show. And if you're the afternoon show, you're on the air when it comes out. How are you going to use that? So by the time you actually get around to accessing it, the content is already dated. It's unusable. There's a better way of doing it. And what Andrew's going to show you with Radio Content Pro, and then we're going to show you how to personalize it and how to customize it, is content that is personalized specifically for your personality, that is curated in a way that it comes down to only you can perform it. And we'll show you how we do that. It's customized for your format, for your audience, your target audience, for your market, so it's localized, and for your station along with that. You also need a show builder. A lot of show prep comes out, and now you've got all these topics and you've got all of these things in front of you, and you're going through a lot of content trying to sort through it, and now you've got to take it and put it into a run sheet. That should be streamlined. It's streamlined. We'll show you how to do that. Something that goes with you anywhere online. There's not a single show prep service who gathers everything that you want to use on the air, including Radio Content Pro. It doesn't get everything you want to use on the air. There might be some things that are behind a paywall. There might be some things that come out that are specific and unique to your market that you want to talk about. How do you get that into your prep? Show you how this can go with you everywhere and how it constantly updates in real time, 24/7, 365. So what Andrew's about to show you, and then we'll have a ton of fun with this and creating some amazing content. You can go from idea to show plan to on the air in 4 steps. You choose your format. You save a character profile telling Radio Content Pro and Ava Hart. We're going to introduce you to Ava Hart in a minute. You'll save your character profile inside your account. You'll then select the content from the Radio Content Pro feed, which we'll show you. And then you can put it into the show builder. You'll build the show in the order that you want to use the content. That'll flow, and you'll choose just the content that you want to use that day. And with one click of a button, it'll export your entire show builder ready to use on the air. It's creative, it's constant, it's targeted, and it's personalized. And we do that through Ava Hart that you see on your screen right now. Ava is our AI assistant who knows everything there is to know about radio, everything about programming. So when you have an interaction with Ava, she knows what time spent listening is. She knows what clocks are. She knows what your format is. She knows what target audiences are. She understands how to spread content across multiple breaks to get longer time spent listening. She knows what teases are. She knows everything about it. So Andrew is going to take you now through constantly updated content designed for your format, targeted to your audience, tailored to your community, personalized to your voice with one-click show builders. And from there, we will fix your show prep by showing you how it all works. And that's where I want you to, again, come up with some stories, come up with some ideas. It could be personal stories. It could be things that you're working on for tomorrow's show or for later this week or next week. And we'll put it into the system and you'll see exactly how the personalization works in just a minute.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. Let me share my window here and we can walk through everything Tracy was just mentioning. Okay. Can you guys all see my screen here?
Gotcha.
Perfect. So when you log into Radio Content Pro, you're going to immediately see what is trending with other people using the same format as you. So you can get a really quick idea of what are good, hard-hitting stories that are really popular and trending right now. Tracy introduced Ava. He mentioned that she lives with you on every single post that RCP creates, and she can help you customize this content. And that's great. And up until just about 6 weeks ago, Ava had no context about you. You would have to constantly remind her what your format is, what your personality is like, what your preferences are. But we fixed that. And we did that by creating a feature called Ava Customization. Now, with this Ava Customization, you can give specific customized instructions, context about your personality, your station, your market. And Ava will keep this in mind every time you engage with her, so that when she's customizing content for you, she's doing it with all of this context and knowledge about you, so it's exactly in your tone.
So with this customization, we are logged into the Hot AC CHR format. That's the first thing you do when you're signing up. You choose your format, and then all the content is not only customized to that format, but to the target audience that fits that format. We've also created a character named Sloan Harper, and we've put in some highlights under custom instructions here about who Sloan is. And this is what we'll use when we go into the live demo. This is where it's really impactful. And you can tell Ava as much or as little as you want about your show. So in this case, we've said she's a high functioning extrovert who turns everyday moments into compelling conversations by exploring odd reasons why people do the things they do. My tagline is navigating the chaos, talks about human behavior, relationships, pop culture, balancing career and family, the gap between what we thought adults would be like and what reality is. She's clever, witty, loyal, mischievous, loves to tease, can take it and she can dish it out, reads emotional subtext. I have a sixth sense to know when someone says they're fine, but they aren't. She overthinks texts, and she can help others through difficult relationship problems and conversations they're afraid to have without getting too heavy or preachy. Things that she likes, things she hates. You can tell Ava what your features are, what your content is, the different buckets that you like to put things in. Anything that will help Ava know as much as she can about you, what your sense of humor is. All of those kinds of things. She says she wants to be known for making people feel better after talking to me, not by sugarcoating them, but by helping them see the possibilities. I balance depth and levity without whiplash, creating content that feels both aspirational and refreshingly honest. Now, that's a really good profile for Sloan. If you don't have a character profile like that, they're hard to come up with. And Radio Content Pro helps you with that. You can see right below the custom instructions, it says, try our character profile builder. If you were to go to that page, you would be asked 28 questions, answer those questions, and we create your character profile for you and email it into your email box. So then it'll be 6, 8, 10 pages long. You can then take the highlights from that and put it in the custom instructions so Ava gets to know you. The next section is station and show details, where you can say, in this case, it's Magic 100.7. You can put the call letters in. We put this in San Diego. It's a hot AC station. Show information is the Sloan Harper Show. Her co-host is Just Jason, as you can see the personality name over on the right. She's on in the morning show Monday through Friday. Highlighted all of those things so you can tell Ava all the things about it. So now she knows that you're in San Diego. She knows things about San Diego. She knows who your co-hosts are. So moving on down to the next section, you can put in content about your audience target specifically. The target audience is women ages 30 to 39. And if you put in qualitative information in there, it helps Ava customize even more. So we put in that they're busy and overwhelmed, balancing life and finding time for themselves. And then what's your show tone and style about? It's the show to escape life's pressure. It's fun and funny, observational perspective on contemporary life, get nostalgic at times, reflecting on the 90s and 2000s, not to wish for a different time, but to reminisce and laugh at ourselves. So it gives a really good snapshot of what you're about. The next is content preferences and your content length. There's 3 choices. Short is if you are talking for, say, 1 to 3 minute segments for the most part. Medium is standard, and that's usually targeted around 3 to 4, maybe 5 minutes. And then long form is full featured and detailed. That's if you're doing longer segments like 5 minutes or longer. So you can choose which fits your show the best. We chose medium for this. So Ava will give you more or less detail and more or less depth, depending on what you choose there. And then you can choose your content options. Do you want a call to action with phone topics and engagement prompts, or do you want to prioritize local content? In this case, we said yes. And things that you don't talk about. Maybe your company doesn't want you talking about politics or religion or things that are negative, or you're just uncomfortable talking about destruction and tragedy. And you're always looking for a good angle. You can put the topics that you aren't talking about there. Once you fill all that out, you can save your profile. You can come back to it anytime you like and update it. So as things change or you want to fine tune it to change Ava's output, you can update your profile here. And then Ava remembers everything that you've told her about you.
Perfect. Thank you. So we've got the Ava customization all filled out. Now let's look at how that applies to finding content and making it sound just like you. Radio Content Pro is constantly looking at verified, high-quality sources of information, and we are publishing new content for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We usually have a new story posted every few minutes. So whenever you log in, there's always going to be something new for you to explore or see if it's something you're interested in. Let's go ahead and take a look at this story we pulled up. This is the offline boyfriend, why women are ditching digital dating for a real presence. And we can kind of walk through here how Ava can take what we generated, the story that we found, and make it fine-tuned specifically for you.
So I'm going to turn off my camera so you can see the customization when we get there. There's 3 tabs in the story. We'll talk about this really quickly because we want to get to the personalization part. The first is the story, which is giving you the highlights. One of the things that is really important to personalities is show prep can't take as long as you used to take for it. We talked about that in the first part of the presentation. This gives you the 3 bullet points. The essence of the story is right there. So is it something you want to use or not want to use? It's right here. The summary is written in a longer form. It's written in a style to be spoken on the air and not read online, which is a flaw from a lot of shows. A lot of shows, even some that I coach and work with, are taking content that was written to be read on a website and they're trying to read it on the radio, and it doesn't work. It's written for a different forum. This is written for as a news story for an entertainment report or something that you do in your news, ready to use on the air. And we'll show you. In fact, Andrew, why don't we customize this while we're here? Let's tell Ava that I want to use this story in my trending feature. Rewrite this in my voice for a story that I can use in the entertainment report. And so we can't see that in Andrew's screen, but at the bottom of that window, he's typing in the chat box the prompt. Andrew, you might want to scroll down. There it is. That's what he typed. Hey, if I want to use this story in my trending feature, rewrite this in my voice for a story I can use in my entertainment report. And Ava says, I got you. Here's the story in your voice for trending. The offline boyfriend, why women are finally waking up. And see how she writes this in a conversational style, and she's writing it in Sloan's voice with all of those character traits and all of those characteristics that we put into into her profile. You can see how casual that is and how informal that is. It's not written like a news story. It's written like Sloan would. So she says, are you ready to roll with this? You want me to punch it up? Tell her to punch it up and tighten it a bit. Make it about 20 seconds long. Give me a short version. So here she goes. The offline boyfriend, a shorter version. Single women are calling guys without social media the ultimate catch. And honestly, it's Kind of makes sense. These men are doing something radical. They're actually present. No phone checking, no crafting captions at mid-dinner, just genuine attention, which has apparently become incredibly rare. Now, here's the thing. It's not about being a Luddite. It's about rejecting the performance of social media. A guy who'd rather talk to you than post about you in a world obsessed with curating everything, that's not just attractive, that's revolutionary. Let's go. So it takes something that is designed for the masses and it personalizes it into something that only Sloane Harper would say based on her character traits and based on her personality. Now, let's go on to the second tab is on air. Andrew's there now. Walk us through the different assets that are in on air.
You got it. So every story we produce comes with 3 done-for-you teases. These are all ready to take on the air as they are or customized with Ava. They also include a commentary or video script. And this is a reworked version of that summary from the first tab Tracy was talking about. And this is written in a way that's meant to be more, have a little more color commentary and perspective. It works great as a script for the air, or if you are making a reel or other social media video, it works really great there too. Then we shortened that even more with 10-second and 20-second scripts for shorter talk breaks. Every story comes with 3 different types of responses. And these are ways for a second or third voice to chime in and add some more perspective. The edgy response is usually more geared towards rock stations or a little sarcastic or cutting tone. Mainstream is more like a Ryan Seacrest type of tone, and family friendly is safe for people who are traveling with kids in the backseat. And then every story also includes 4 phone topics. The first 3 are always open-ended, and the last one is a yes or no, black or white poll style question.
Okay, so you can also customize this. You can customize everything. So, Andrew, let's tell Ava now that I want to turn this into a monologue with a sharp, self-deprecating rant that reaches out and engages the audience and turns that into a phone topic for my show. So I want to turn this into a monologue with sharp, self-deprecating rant that reaches out and engages the audience, turns into a phone topic opportunity for my show. And here it is, a self-aware monologue that sets up your phone topic, the offline boyfriend monologue. Okay, here we go. Confession time. I just realized I've been chasing the wrong thing in relationships the whole time. Single women are now treating guys without social media like they're unicorns. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait, when did actually paying attention to me become a luxury item? So, yeah, based on Sloane's personality that we shared with you in customization, can't you hear her saying it just like this? So that sets everything up, and then she takes it externally. So here's my question for you. Would you actually date someone completely offline? Or would you miss the performance part of the relationship? Because apparently I need to know if I'm crazy for thinking presence really sounds attractive right now. Call me. Let's figure this out together. And then Ava's also going to coach you through it. This sets up nicely for your phone lines. You want me to give you more energy or add more self-roast to it so you can dress it up. She's prompting you in different directions you can go. She'll also tell you why things work or why they might not work and things that you should be looking at as you interact with her.
Awesome. And then the third tab that we have for every story is going to be your digital content. We know that you on-air personalities have more and more pressure to produce blog posts, social media posts, and that's a ton of extra work. So we're helping with that. Every story that we produce comes with a written for you blog post. And this is ready to copy and paste and put on your site as it is. Or again, Ava can customize this more for your tone, as well as social media posts.
So you can see all the digital assets there, the poster there. You can customize it. We won't do it in this demo, but we could tell Ava, I want to turn this into my personal blog post for today, rewrite the blog post in my voice, and she would give you a thorough blog post written as Sloane Harper, and that you could then copy that and take that to to your website as well. When you get it the way you like it, Andrew, show them how to save a post into Show Builder, and we'll go into Show Builder here in a second.
You got it. So we decided that this is a story we want to use in our show, so we're just going to go ahead and click the little save icon here, and it is saved to our save posts. And I'll pop over there right now and show you how we can.
By the way, before you do, I was going to have you save some of the customized content, but that's okay. We'll show that later.
Okay. So we'll pop over, and here is our library of saved posts. And on the left is content that we've saved, and on the right is a scheduling or your show builder. Let's create a new show plan for tomorrow. And we can go ahead and start with the show we were just working on. We'll add this. And I have a few other stories saved from a couple of weeks ago. We'll just throw them in there so you can see how it all works. And as you add stories, you can rearrange them to the order that you want.
So let's say you're doing 4 segments an hour. You could put 16 different stories in here and then drag and drop them into the order you want them in the performance of your show. And then you can choose which parts of the content you want to use in your show.
Yep. So you can go through and select the content that RCP has generated that you want to include in your show export. And you can also save the content that Ava generates for you. We'll show you that in just a minute.
You know, why don't you go to one of those that already has some Ava content in it, and
we'll do this.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So Andrew's back on the offline dating. Write a 4th tease that sets us up to be a big phone-in topic opportunity for my show. So simple prompt. Here's tease 4, built to pull callers. So created that. And then here's Ava telling you why this works for your show, how it hits your sweet spot for your demo and day part, and the reasons why. And then offers to adjust it or brainstorm how to use it even more. At the bottom of that, you can save what Ava just created. And
we'll save this as a tease. You can also put a custom label on there if you want something else, but we'll save it as a tease. And we'll go right back over to our show builder. And her customization is showing up down here. Here's Ava's notes. And we can even edit this and tighten it up so we're not taking everything she said.
Yeah, so you want to adjust what Ava put in there. You want to put some notes to yourself or to your co-hosts in that. You can do that right here. You can take out her notes about why this works or why it doesn't work, and then click include and export, and then it'll go right into your show plan.
Yep. Once you're happy with all the content selections, you just click the export PDF button right down here, and you will automatically download the done for you show planner with all of the content that you selected from all of the stories that you chose. So here you can see this was our show plan for Friday, May 8th. This was the story we were working on, all of the different content we selected from RCP, and then Ava's notes at the bottom with our edits reflected here.
Pretty slick, huh? Pretty cool. Okay, so that's great. That puts a plan in place. All that content comes from every story that Radio Content Pro creates. It's all on your dashboard. It's all self-contained. It's all in one place. Once you learn how to use the tools, and Ava knows who you are, you can literally create an entire show with the show plan in about 10 to 15 minutes once you get really good at doing it. And of course, the more you want to customize it and the more you want to interact with Ava and ask questions might take you a little bit longer, but that's all in your control and all in your hands and how much or how little you want to do that. So, but as I mentioned before, there might be times when you want to grab some content from a source or a story that's happening just locally in your market that isn't in Radio Content Pro. We have a solution for that. It's Ava goes with you anywhere you go on the internet. We want to show you how that works.
Okay, let's go over onto an external website. We're over here on the NewYorkPost.com, and I found a story that is a little ridiculous, a little funny. It didn't happen to show up in Radio Content Pro, but I want to use this on my show. I want to add it to my show prep. So we built a custom Chrome extension that brings Ava with you. She can pop up in your sidebar here. You can engage with her just like you do in RCP. Let's just start with the quick action of write 3 teases.
Yeah, you see those buttons at the bottom. If you want to just take that story and turn it into a social post, you can. If you want to turn it into a talk break angle, you can. Or you can start a whole conversation. Andrew just said, give me 3 teases for the Sloan Harper show. There you go. There's the 3 teases. And if you like what you've got, you can click the save button at the bottom, that bookmark, and you'll save it right to your show.
Yeah, so this extension will do a few things for you. If you just want to save the link to the article, you can click the bookmark here so that this will show up in your save posts list, and you can refer to it in the future. You can also save specific content that Ava's helping you generate. So you can highlight and save specific parts of it, or save the entire comment, and we'll save this as teases. And then we can go right back over to our show builder. We'll close Ava here. We're going to refresh, and you can see that the story that we were just working on here from the New York Post is down here in external stories. We're going to add it to our show builder. And here's everything you just created with Ava.
So let's say you're on that cat story, the car crash injuries tripping over my cat. You could tell Ava there, I want you to turn this into a good news story or a happy ending story. Use the facts from this, but shine the spotlight back on me. Put the attention on my show. Let's turn this into something I use for my good news feature, or turn this into a sarcastic Florida man type story that I can use on my show, and do it with my sense of humor. And whatever you want it to be, whatever strikes you, whatever emotional content you want to extract from that, Ava will help you do it right there from any page on the internet, including anything that is behind a paywall. So if you subscribe to something like Andrew mentioned, the New York Times, log into your New York Times account and you can customize any New York Times story and save it into your show prep. So he just turned this into a good news story. There you go. And he also gave you social media, gave you phone topics, gave you a talk break angle, the catastrophe that wasn't. Jesus, that's great. So it's all right there. And then when you're finished with it and you save it, it goes right into your show builder. And then you can edit it from the show builder and decide what you want to use on the air and what you don't. So really, really cool. Now, Andrew, let's go back to show builder. And this is where I want to get everyone in the chat engaged. Let's start building some unique content. Let's start building some things that only you can do, because that's where this really becomes even more powerful. There might come a time where you want to tell a personal story. Something happened to you at the grocery store yesterday, or something happened to you when you were driving down Main Street and you saw something unusual happen. It's not a story that happened in the news. It's not in the Radio Content Pro feed. We want Ava to help us tell that story and help us develop that content. So let's build one. If you've got a personal story, if you've got a story you want us to do, type it in the chat. We'll build it in Sloan Harper's voice, and we'll show you how you can take anything that happens, any observation you have, and you can make original content. And while we're waiting for people to do this, let's tell her this, Andrew. Let's say, I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning and stumbled out of bed and stubbed my toe on the dresser while trying to go to the bathroom. I ended up rolling around on the floor, howling in pain, and if it hadn't been for having to come to work at 5 a.m., I probably would have ended up in the ER. Still in pain, but more embarrassed from the whole situation than anything else. I need to turn this into a personal story that isn't completely self-absorbed, but make it self-deprecating and put it all in my voice. How do I tell this story? So I gave Andrew a lot to type in there. He's faster typing than I am. So he's going to get that prompt into Ava. The more you give Ava, the better the details will be. If she wants some more depth, she'll ask for it, and you can put all of that in, and she'll give you more and more. So okay, now she's typing. How do I tell this story? Love this. It's gold for your show. Here's how to nail it without being ha ha, I'm a disaster. Great way to put it. So she gives you the entire structure of the break, the framework. Prepare, type, perform, lose is a show prep concept that I've taught my personalities for decades, where you want to prepare tight so you know exactly what you're doing, but you want to perform loose so it's spontaneous and natural, and she'll help you with that. So she says, paint the scene with specifics, not I just woke up. Give us the why you're stumbling around. Were you half asleep, disoriented? Make us feel your state of mind. So she helps you in telling the story with the right details. The moment, here's where your personality shines. Self-deprecation works when it reveals something true about you, not that you're clumsy, but maybe you're chaotic, stubborn, or weirdly prioritizing work over your body. The insight, this is the magic. What does this moment say about navigating the chaos? Maybe it's about how we push through pain because we're conditioned to show up, or how ridiculous it is that you'd rather suffer than call in, or how about your brain went straight to what will people think instead of am I okay? Land it with something honest and funny. Okay, so then she's going to say, here's how you might tell it. And so she's going to suggest a script for your story and then tell you why it works for your brand. 2 a.m., not even awake, like my brain hasn't loaded yet. I'm shuffling to the bathroom like a zombie, and my toe finds my dresser before my eyes even register the dresser exists. Full contact. And here's the thing. I don't just stub it. I go down on the floor, howling. And my first thought isn't, oh God, is it broken? It's, oh God, what if my neighbors heard that? Because apparently I'm more concerned about looking embarrassing than actual pain. So there I am, 2 a.m. on my bedroom floor doing inventory. Can I walk? Yes. Okay, we're going to work, because the idea of calling in sick because of a toe is worse than actually going in on a broken toe, which, let's be honest, it says everything about how we're all just running on fumes and denial. That's awesome. And so you can hear how relatable that is and how externally focused it is, but it's also personal. So it shines the spotlight back on who Sloan is and who it's all about. So you can now go back and forth. We won't do that here because I see some of you are putting some stories up that we want to use. She's giving suggestions. Jason, remember, that's her co-host, can play the concerned co-host. Wait, you went to work. So from here, you can tell Ava, okay, I want to make this more self-deprecating, but the reason I didn't I didn't go to the ER and I came into work is because I didn't want to have to explain to everybody at work how clumsy I am and how stupid I am. Because what really happened was I was out until midnight at the bars on a school night, and so I'm embarrassed about it. So we could tell her that, and then Ava would rewrite that storyline, that commentary, to get it just the way we want it. When you're done with it, you can click that save to show that Andrew showed you before at the bottom, and it saves it in your show builder as a new entry. So you've got your personal story that drops into your show builder. It's awesome. Okay, let's look at a couple that you guys have put up here. Tanner Anonymous says, my fiance is trying to convince me to buy a landline for our home so we spend less time on our cell phones. Okay. So Andrew, throw another couple of lines in there about, I think this is a horrible idea because my phone is my lifeline to the outside world. And who is he to tell me how we should be living our personal lives? All right. So, and then help me tell this personal story on the air and what we can do about what I can do with this tomorrow morning. Rob Anonymous, we'll get to you here in just a second too. So Ava says, I love this conflict. Look at the layers. We're going to build it out. And she said, now she's going to ask you some questions. What's the real tension underneath? Is it control and autonomy because he's telling you what to do, different lifestyle values, or fear masquerading as wellness? So let's tell her, let's pick one of those. I don't care which one. She's going to give you the hook, an external hook, but let's pick a tension underneath it so she can fine tune the story for us.
Cool. Let's go with control and autonomy.
Perfect.
The hook.
Why do partners think they get to decide how we live when they're not living our life? Then bring your specific story. So there's a great hook. Why is it that partners think they get to decide how we live when they're not living our life? And it's a great intro to a personal story. So it starts externally and it brings it into something personal. She suggests phone topics, keep it light but real, self-deprecating. My fiance thinks a landline will save us. Meanwhile, I'm thinking he's about to learn that my phone habit is a feature, not a bug. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to do control and autonomy, light, but real is the right tone. Okay, here's how to nail it tomorrow morning. Here's your open. And she tells the whole story. And she gives you coaching prompts going through it. Then here's the self-aware twist, the laugh and the truth, and then continues with the monologue again. So she's helping you do. She's not telling you exactly what to say. She's telling you what you could say based on what she knows about you. And in this case, of course, it's Sloan Harper. Then open it up. What's something your partner has tried to fix about how you live? And did you let them, or did you hold your ground? Because I'm genuinely curious if anyone's actually won this argument. Phone topic gold, vibe. So from this point, you could say, give me half a dozen ideas for what callers would contribute and some stories they might be telling me so I can prime the pump and get the topic started. And she'll tell you what listeners might contribute. You can use that as a phone call. You can use it as a text message coming in, or you could say, say, I heard from so-and-so who said this. The fitness fixer. My husband decided I needed to go to the gym with him every single day, not asking, deciding. I finally told him, you want me fit or do you want me resentful? Pick one. It's great. The sleep scheduler, the social auditor, the diet crusader. Terrific. All right, let's start a new one, and let's do Rob Anonymous's topic. His topic is, would you rather have a date with the guy with the truck window sticker that reads bald and gassy, or the sticker that reads panty dropper? Trucks were both seen in the parking lot of a Walmart. Turn this, and then just tell Ava, turn this into a segment for me. She's going to love this. This is perfect for Sloan Harper's personality. The Walmart Truck Showdown. She gives you the segment structure, turns it into a game, a would you rather game. But the real fun is unpacking what each choice says about you, not them. Option A, bald and gassy, or option B, panty dropper. And then the turn. Here's where it gets good. Ask listeners to call in and defend their choice. The calls reveal so much about what people actually want, but versus what they claim they want. Someone picks panty dropper, then suddenly explains why they'd actually go for bald and gassy. That's your comment. Why does this work for your show? Taps into your lane, human behavior. Want me to write out the on-air script for the setup? Yeah, let's write the setup. So here's Sloan's setup. Yesterday, I'm at Walmart, which, by the way, is always an adventure in human behavior. Love the little inside offbeat quote comments she puts in. And I walk past the parking lot, and I see two trucks parked next to each other. And I'm not talking about the trucks themselves, but about the window stickers. One truck has the sticker that says bald and gassy. The other says panty dropper. And I stood there. Like, these two guys woke up, looked in the mirror, and then decided, you know what? I'm going to advertise my personal information to strangers in a Walmart parking lot. So here's a line for her co-host, Jason. Wait, which one are you most disturbed by? Well, that's the thing. I can't decide because they're both so confident. Like, one's, okay, here's my flaws, take it or leave it. The other's, I am peak romance, baby. But here's what I'm actually curious about, because I think that this says everything. If you had to go on a date with one of these guys based solely on their truck sticker, which are you going to pick? And more importantly, what does your answer say about you? Because I feel like your choice reveals whether you value honesty, humor, delusion, or just bad judgment. This is either the most genius dating strategy or the worst one ever, right? So we're doing this. We're calling it the Walmart Truck Showdown. Listeners, which truck guy are you choosing and why? Here's our number. And then she offers to adjust this to make it a specific local for San Diego if you want to. So you could tell her you want to make this more local, less local. You can give her any kind of prompt that you want to put in there. All right. So you can see how this all works. And then, of course, you can save this to your show planner as well. So then let's, John Crenshaw put a link in to a college football story about Ohio State eating pizza. So can you click on that link, Andrew? And he says, can this be healthy? Isn't it hazing? What would his mom say? Doesn't find the documents. Click on that. There you go. Got it. So we're going to bring, this is behind a paywall. So we can't get to it, but you can. So we can't, we can get to the headlines of the story, but
you know what? I think we have a few free articles here.
Perfect.
Let's roll with it.
Good.
So John asked, can this be healthy? Isn't it hazing? What would his mom say?
All right. So let's have Ava do her magic with this story. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I popped over to our Kartra webinar page, and she's still reading that. Let me reload this. Sometimes if you're bouncing around tabs, she's got just a few second delay.
Okay, here we go. Great questions. And honestly, they're the perfect angles for your show because they hit on the human behavior stuff that you love. Let's break it down. Is it healthy? Nope, not really. Forcing someone to eat a medium pizza daily before intense athletic activity is a lot. The body adapts, sure, but that's not the nutrition. That's survival mode. Modern sports science would probably have a field day with this, but here's the thing. It worked for him at the time, which is the weird paradox. Is it hazing? What would his mom say? And look, Ava said, this is gold for your show. She likes the third one. What would his mom say? So let's take that and say, let's take the what would his mom say about this and turn this into a story for my show. Because remember, one of the things about Sloan is that she likes to talk nostalgia. And so you can go down to what was it that you did that you would embarrass your mom about? You can go in some angles that way. And that's probably where Ava will go with this. Story about a college football player had to eat an entire medium pizza every single day before practice. His coaches made him do it in the team meeting so everyone could see. And I'm thinking, what would his mom say about that? So what's something you've done that you know would make your mom lose her mind if she found out? Not like dangerous stuff, but those moments where you're an adult making choices and you can just hear her voice in your head going, are you kidding me right now? Maybe it's how you're eating. Maybe it's how you're sleeping or how you're handling money or relationships or your health, whatever it is. Call and tell us what your mom would absolutely not approve of and why you're doing it anyway. And then she tells you why it works. And then she offers to write some teases to promote it for you. So awesome. So you see, when you personalize this with Ava, everything that she does brings the attention back to your personality and your show and content that only you can do. So it's no longer about the guy at Ohio State who ate pizza. It's using that as leverage to make it personal and content that shines the spotlight back on your personality. And that's that whole concept of it's not about you, it's about the listener experience. So you want to be relevant with what the audience is experiencing. But at the same time, you want it to be all about you because of what you do with that content. And that's the gap that Ava helps you bridge inside Radio Content Pro. So if anybody else has any stories you want us to explore, I know we're going close to an hour here. We'll also answer your questions. We can answer questions about show prep or about content, about anything that you want us to comment on. I'd be glad to answer that. Over in the Q&A, question came in, said, will this presentation be available to review again? I've got to go for some other things. You're probably not here now, but yeah, it will be available. There will be a replay, and we'll be making that available to you later on this afternoon. So if you signed up for the webinar, you'll get a link to access this and watch it anytime that you like. I've also just turned on a offer for you to download a summary, an ebook of your show prep is broken, and some of the highlights that you saw in the slideshow that I gave you right at the beginning. So you can download that, and you can also download that from the Radio Content Pro website later if you like as well. So if you got any other questions, here for you for the next couple of minutes. You can type them in the chat box right now. We'll be glad to answer it. If you want some more details about Radio Content Pro, I'm going to put that up on your screen. So if you want to give this give it a spin, it's a free trial, 7 days free. You get Ava, you get your format, you get everything that you want. You can try it for 7 days without any kind of obligation, and then I'm sure you're going to want to make this a part of your regular routine. Everybody that I know of that has used this service and using it with Ava and the personalization and customization can't imagine going back to doing anything the way they've done it, had done it in the past. Makes your show better, makes it faster, makes it more efficient, makes it more personalized. And as personalities and radio people in general are more concerned about keeping their job in an era of budget cuts and am I going to be next on the chopping block? You know who's going to be employable, and the ones that they want to keep going forward are the ones who bring something unique that nobody else can bring. And that's what personalized prep, customized prep is all about. And that's why we built Radio Content Pro the way that we did. So I don't see any other questions coming in. Andrew, do you have anything else to add?
I also just wanted to point out that we do offer localized content. We offer something called RCP Local. So if you're looking for more than just more format-specific content, we can set you up with a custom feed of stories about your specific market.
So as you see on your screen right now, he's highlighted Local Beats San Diego because that's where Sloan is from, remember, as San Diego is her market. So this brings up just San Diego stories along with all of the others. And that's what you're looking at right now. A big rig this morning turned over on I-5 and it backed everything up. Morning commute chaos. And this happens in near real time. It's within a couple of minutes of the time the story comes out, right on your dashboard. So it's faster than however you're gathering the news now and being relevant. And with Ava customization, you could say, Ava, turn this into a 30-second commentary that I can use on the show without getting too newsy. And she would create that for you and put it into a context that would fit on your show because she knows that about you.
Somebody asked if there are different types of content for different formats, and there is. We didn't touch on this, but Radio Content Pro has 10 different format kits, and these are basically bundles of different content categories optimized for your format. So every kit has slightly different content. It's written in a slightly different tone. So you will have really dialed in between AVA customization and your format specific content. You'll have a really dialed and tuned stream of articles and content for you to be using every single day.
Yeah, each kit is targeted to the format, so you get the stories that fit, and they're curated when it goes into your dashboard for the audience that's attracted to that format. So it's intense customization all the way through. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to come and learn more about show prep. If you have any questions about how this can apply to your show, or if you want a personal one-on-one walkthrough, be glad to answer those questions. You can hit either one of us up anytime you like, and we'll be glad to get on a call with you.